What is design in Dimitri's world?
Design everything what we create, from ideas to everyday things. And I believe every single person in the world is a designer. Any company who produce software, they not only produce something with the A/B test KPIs, they produce language between machine and human. The huge problem today, startups, they go from the finish to start. And in the final way, they realize they build a product nobody needs. Because you don't design first step, foundation. In terms of design, it's very good when you not only create visual stuff, but actually make it like you can feel it, you can hear it.
You put in your hand different things. I know you're a big fan of photography. On that, do you think designers actively should try different disciplines?
What I can say, just not afraid to try it. Just feed your curiosity to try. You're never old for that. One single solution about one problem doesn't exist. And I absolutely love thinking about design in this way.
So today's guest, we've got someone pretty special on. We've got Dimitri. Say hello, Dimitri.
Hey. Hey.
Dimitri is an individual that challenges how we as designers think of design. He is very much a multidisciplinary designer. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
I can say.
Yeah. He's got a very, very vast background and knowledge in the design realms and been part of a lot of special projects and continue to be. Dimitri, do you want to give us a little bit of background on yourself?
First of all, I just want to say you a lot of appreciations to having me. And I remember when we last time spoke with each other, you dream about like making your own podcast and stuff. And I'm like,
did I say that?
Yeah. And I'm just happy for you.
Thank
it's
you.
like your dream is reality right now. So yeah,
thank you.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool to see the path, how you get here, and you basically tells me like if I have a podcast, I ask you to speak with me and all of this stuff. It's just like so cool, and here we are.
Oh, well, it could be the first of many. Do you know we can make it a regular thing? I'm cool with that.
So
yes,
yeah. About my background,
yeah,
maybe not like very interesting. I can say is like excited and stuff because I'm some sort of like very old school designer from like more than 20 years back. I just started when nobody really talked about UI, UX design, product design and all this stuff. We just like draw some icons, buttons and all of this stuff, like basically rectangles. But back in the days, if you remember in Photoshop and like Illustrator and all this stuff, you didn't have pixel alignment and all of this. It's a reason why everyone talked back in the days like pixel perfect design because it was extremely hard. It's not like straightforward now like nowadays after Sketch and Figma and all other nice players appears after that. Yeah. And I'm some sort of like still use my old school approach about like production 3D graphics when you not just like draw something like make the beautiful graphics and pass through to the developers and they try to figure out how to rebuild it again. They basically have to draw it again in code, and I some sort of like try to make production 3D graphics somehow. Yeah.
And in terms of how well you've been doing it for a while now, and you've been part of some pretty special projects.
Yeah.
One of them being Clean Mac. You've been at Sketch, Rive recently. A few exciting opportunities ahead. So tell us a little bit about them experiences.
Yeah. But Clean My Mac, obviously, probably the most popular software I like by design, with a beautiful team from Ukraine called MacPo, and they designed and create quite a lot of absolutely amazing software, which basically flips the idea about system software should be ugly. You know what I mean? When we talked about like back in the days about banking software, it's like just
you said should be ugly.
It should be ugly. It's like it just made the way
deliberately
ugly. Yeah. And right now we have like Monza, Revolut, and all of this stuff, which looks amazing and works. It's like very thoughtfully made. And back in the days, I remember I just started using Linux and all of this stuff. And I remember how I destroyed all my data because of the software, which like formatting hard drives, and just impossible to understand how it works. It looks not only ugly but inaccessible, and I basically destroy all my data. And when I had opportunity to work on the cleaning software, especially for Mac, because I always dream about having a Mac, and I remember I basically lied to Alexander, the CEO of MacPo, I have a Mac to get this job. And like, I have a Mac, but I have like a lot of screenshots and stuff. Sorry, Alexander, I lied to you that day.
You had to buy one after you got it. Though,
right? I bought immediately. Like I just collect the money and I bought it immediately. And my first Mac was Job Slump. Yeah. It was absolutely horrible in terms of speed and like display quality, but I don't care. No, I believe my design just like became way more superior after buying it. Yeah. And the main thing is we try to make it in the way, because I have this pain to destroying all my data and don't understand what's happening with a computer when you try to, especially with the Linux again, when you back in the days try to even install this operation system, it can be quite challenging. And like you want to burn the CD, for example, and it's not Nero burning ROM, for example, software, if you remember. It was like just, I don't know, you use terminal for that.
Yeah.
And if you don't destroy your CD or like write the data right way, it's gonna be amazing experience for you. So I some sort of like start thinking about, okay, how I can make the humanized experience for this and stuff. So I'm some sort of like this kind of designer who appreciate the humanized software, where there may be quirks and stuff, but when everyone who absolutely inexperienced in area can understand it straight away, how to use it and stuff.
You gave a really good quote earlier on, and I'm not going to take the glory for it. I'll let you do it, in terms of humans, users, and software.
Like human Apple called designers human interface design, and they have guidelines called human interface guidelines. And I absolutely agree with this term, because any company who produce software, they not only produce something with the A/B tests, KPIs, and all of this stuff, they produce language between machine and human. And this language should be understandable to human and like have common sense and in general and all of this stuff. I can't just A/B test two different words for the same thing, like cucumber and gherkin, and ask audience what they like more and select it for English language, isn't it? Yeah. Just like it sounds hilarious and doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is today, and it's a lot of software just like drives by consistently A/B test, and like just
no.
Sometimes it just lost any sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really interesting way to kind of understand or visualize the relationship between consumers and businesses, and how designers enable that and thrive on that. And I think that comes down to one, if you have the data in place as well, it makes it even easier, right? Because the information is there in front of you, and you've got to kind of decorate the Christmas tree, right? If you're given the decorations to do so, right? And that's really, really important. You've got some really interesting ideas of and unconventional kind of definitions of what design is. So I know it's a bit of a big question to ask, but what is design in Dimitri's world?
Yeah, basically design everything what we create, from ideas to everyday things. And I believe every single person in the world is a designer, and like your developer is a designer, really, because we all solve design problems every single day, like how to get to your work faster. It's a design solution. Why it's so interesting? Because it's how our creative brain works. And some people says like, oh, I'm not creative. Oh, I'm not. But yeah, everyone creative. And if you're thinking about like the way how people preparing food, for example, the way how people talk with other people, like anything, it can be anything. What you like, even how people choose what to wear, and it's all design decisions. You make decisions in design, and design by itself at what we create artificially. It's like you can call it artificial intelligence and stuff.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
it should be artificial way. It's not natural stuff. Like we walking in the natural way. We doing like breathe, blinking and all of this stuff. It's not design intent. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
every time when we do like artificial thing, absolutely, like the way how we're speaking, even the way how we learn, the way how we laugh, the way how we drive, the way how we walk, and like in the different situations and all of this stuff, the way how we behave with the different persons, it's all design in the way how we produce music, like compose music, and it's also design. And it's impossible to be not to be a designer if you're human. And what I think, designers always should ask just 3 basic questions in terms of product design, because we should like from broad go to some narrow point. Topic of conversation, I'm a product designer, like human interface designer, and product design is always like 3 questions. What is it? What we actually design? And like the final stage of what can be, I don't know, like just a document in Notion which describes everything what we design. It can be like next step how it works, and we design, for example, the way how this object or software works. It can be like different game engines, can be different technology what we use, can be different materials, etc., etc. For example, the final object of the how it works, the way how design works, it's a combustion engine. Look at it. It's just looks not very pleasant, I can say, for general audience. It's very hard to sell by itself.
Yeah.
You basically try to hide it inside of the car, but what makes your car
A car,
which is like just moving vehicle. And how it works this way. It can be electric, can be like diesel, can be this way, etc., etc. It's like it looks like a mess for unprepared person. This is like how it made. Basically, this object tells you how it made. Or it can be vase made from, I don't know, clay, and it just like pure clay without any decoration and all of this stuff. Basically, is the way how it made. And third stage, how it looks like. It can be gold iPhone, for example, which is basically works the same how black iPhone works and white iPhone works, but it's the same iPhone, isn't it? Inside, but outside it can be like red, blue, green, yellow, you name it. And this is more marketing stuff. It's already like the way how thing looks, it conveys some sort of message for general audience, and it's easier to sell. So it's a lot of marketing involvement, and marketing as well. It's also artificial design thing.
Yeah, and I guess because there were 3 things there, right?
Yeah.
So, what is it?
Yeah. What is it? What we design?
What was it? And I guess that is a vertical that could branch off into many things, because I guess you would go, what is the purpose of this? Why are we doing this?
Yes.
What are we trying to get people to do? What do we want people to feel when they right?
Well,
and they come at different.
And what always exists after question, and question goes from audience, like people in general. And this question we call it like pain, for example. And pain is usually quantity, complexity, and how powerful is pain. It's like power of the pain. It's like teeth pain. It's quite painful, isn't it? And it's quite huge amount of people who are suffering from the teeth pain because sugar and all of this stuff. It's a reason why we have so many like dentists and like all this healthcare product about like around this problem. So it's what we're doing is always exist after question about like this is problem exists, what we should do about this problem. And it's the main point is it's not one single solution about one problem doesn't exist. Like problem boredom. For example, you feel bored. It's a problem. And how you can solve the problem? I don't know. You can just watch on TikTok. You can play Nintendo Switch. You can, I don't know, go walk. You can go and have conversation with friends, etc., etc. It's like a lot of what exists. And I absolutely love this part of design. I mean, thinking about design in this way, because imagine AI today, like AI right now, AI product, how it looks like. Can you describe how AI product looks like?
It's something I can interact and chat with.
Chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's immediately what we have in mind. But can we design something which doesn't look like a chat? Yes. How many times we can design AI which doesn't look like a chat, which doesn't look like a blob, which doesn't look like a robot with two eyes? Millions, thousands. I don't know. Like
it depends, right? Because yes, it can exist in different forms, but I think the reason it lands on chat most of the time is because the perceived value of or trying to show off its intelligence is probably best done so when I'm interacting and talking with it, because that's the best way to showcase intelligence. Maybe it's not the best utility of it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely
we should always think about human inertia and what make like people make the car look like that, or like watches. Pocket watch. Remember pocket watch? Like,
yeah.
I'm not so old, but you can remember how it looks like. You can Google it.
I have no idea what you're on about.
Yeah, it before wristwatches and like just watches in general, we used to have pocket watches. And first guys who put pocket watches on the hand, it's like just was crazy, really. And it's like, who gonna use it? It's like the same how put watch on the leg, for example, today. And I always try to think about as a designer again. I understand the thing like a human inertia. I understand you can disrupt market easily just to build something which not works like that, and it doesn't have like any solution about that. Like AI in general, it's technology, and people have a lot of problems which can be solved with this technology. So it can be not chat at all. It can be like just user interface, what you interact with, but this interface can adapt.
This is why I think it's a very good thing for creativity and creative people, because if you can understand and apply your different interpretations to AI, then you'll get the best out of it, right?
Like,
yeah.
Like remember Arc browser. Yeah. Arc browser. What Arc browser did?
Remember Arc browser.
Remember, always remember Arc browser.
Yeah.
Arc browser did quite simple thing. They saw the problem with a huge amount of tabs from people, and it's like every single UI in the world have capacity of how much UI you can put inside of it, how much data you can put inside of it. And tabs works well until you have 1,000 tabs, really. And they decided to make tabs vertical, because again, you can do whatever you want. It's fully digital world. It's not such a thing like material, or you have patterns, of course, human patterns, with how users already used to use computer, and to be sure not creating new unusual patterns to learn, like to teach people how to use it, and it's like create some sort of friction for customers. But you can actually use this pattern because it looks like a tabs, but it's like vertical now, because all websites like just vertical, and you don't need like wide screen to just consume websites, isn't it? You need like vertical screen. And if you remember first, Xerox screen from the first GUI was like a A4 paper, like a basically vertical screen, because this is like how documents looks like. And I believe something wrong with the horizontal computer screens right now. They should be vertical, probably. Again, it's another controversial thing to think, but it actually makes sense.
But do you think that could be partially appealing because it's unconventional, or do you think there actually
No, it's a conventional. It's like it's unconventional, but it's more useful if you think about it, because most content today is vertical.
Yes.
Take cameras, for example. Like all these cameras, what filmed us. See this shape? It's like horizontal shape, looks like a camera. It tells it's a camera, but why it has this shape? It can have any shape because it doesn't have film inside of it. But still, it looks like you can put film inside of this camera. And again, most content shot vertically. And we have almost 0 cameras today with a vertical sensor, except maybe new Fujifilm camera. And it's still horizontal camera, but vertical sensor. But it's way more convenient to shoot like that because people just shoot vertically, and all cameras not designed ergonomically for vertical shooters. Everyone use it like that. Doesn't it? Because you can't just put like horizontal photo in Instagram because it occupies a very small amount of space inside of it. And same happened with the artworks for albums. I remember I wrote like when everyone started consuming music on iPhones, I wrote a tweet about, we go back to the cassette artworks. Remember audio cassettes? And they like used to have vertical artworks. And it actually works pretty well for iPhones or like vertical devices. And right now, here we have interactive audio cassette artworks for albums. We not use vinyl on digital devices. We not use compact disc and all this stuff with a square artwork format, which is I absolutely love in terms of like I collect vinyl and I appreciate the artwork and all this stuff. But again, most of the people use streaming software, and streaming software needs be different. And we see like interactive artwork in Spotify and Apple Music and all of this stuff.
It's nice how it keeps and it complements its history, like, right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's funny because that probably originates from, well, the original association with the cassette tapes, right? And it's like, people associate this with that. This works in this form. So even subconsciously in people's mind, that probably...
What I want to say, people even consuming vertical music, like vertical UI for listening music, they like old players have square format artworks, and I remember a lot of hate on this tweet, like, you are just stupid, like nobody gonna make vertical artwork for and here we have full screen experience in the new operation systems right now with a full screen beautiful artwork for devices, because it just makes sense, doesn't it? It's what we design, and we can think about it. Then how it works. You can design how vase works million ways, because different materials, different way of producing, again, mass production, how to make it cheaper and all of this stuff. Engines can be very powerful engine, can be a very economical engine. I don't know, like beautiful Ford three cylinder 1 liter turbo engine from Ford Fiesta. For example, absolutely stunning engine. And 6-cylinder BMW engine, for example. Also absolutely stunning piece of work, but they design for different purposes and for different intention and all of this stuff. One designed for speed and feeling, like gives people drive feeling and all of this stuff. Another one designed for economic and fuel efficiency, still gives a drive and all of this stuff. Electric engines designed differently, and all design of electric engines nowadays, it's microchips, software, and all of this stuff. It's just another way of doing exact this stuff, isn't it?
Just different method, different approach.
Like if you drive electric car, isn't it?
Yeah.
You probably notice.
How do you know?
I don't know. You just tell me.
Look like that.
Yeah, and you probably notice you don't need to use brakes.
Yeah,
anymore.
Regenerative braking.
Yeah. You just like basically remove your
foot off the
foot. Yeah, and it's just like you're thinking about, okay, you don't need to use brakes. How cool is that?
Sounds dangerous.
Sounds dangerous, but it's cool because you don't need to replace brakes. They still there for safety purposes, and when you should stop immediately, I can say, because electric cars,
but it makes
very
sense.
heavy.
It's like when they removed what's it called, the pen from the iPhones. It's just use your finger. When you want to go, and stop. So a one pedal approach. Now, if I was to come away from my car and come away from the one pedal approach,
you can
this
see.
is odd.
You can see it's kind of the same product, isn't it? Engine, car, and all this. But how differently it's done, and how differently you use different technology.
It's interesting. I saw a thing. Do you know Rory Sutherland? Rory Sutherland. Anyway, he done something great about cars, electric cars, and cars as we know today. And he was saying about if we were all driving electric cars, and then someone come up with an idea to make
combustion engine
car today, you'd think they're absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You think you're
gonna burn dinosaurs.
Yeah. I've got this. I've got this great idea where we're gonna have this really, really like 3/4 ton engine. Right, we're gonna have micro little explosions that happen around, which uses a flammable liquid, and it farts methane out the back, gases and fumes out the back of the car. And then someone goes, okay, all right. Is it faster? No. Is it quieter? Oh no, it's actually rather quite loud. There's all these different kind of things.
It's dirty and stuff.
Right.
We need more.
Can I charge
mechanical details there?
Can I charge it at home? Oh no. You're gonna have to drive about 5-10 minutes from your house to then go and fill it up. Where you're going to be trying to sold stuff at the store, at the store.
Yeah, it sounds crazy.
Sounds crazy, but it's the same thing, but a different interpretation of the thing, right?
Yeah, because again, we have inertia, like human inertia. We used to use things, and it's very hard to break patterns. Like you want to reinvent toothpaste, for example, and change the shape and all of this stuff, and it's not going to be toothpaste, but maybe like tablets, what you chew in. It's like it's a real product, really. And people like, why should you like tablets? It's just so weird, isn't it? Pills and stuff. You chew in it, and it's like clean your teeth, and it just sounds crazy, but it's the same.
Yes.
And then it's like how it works, and then goes how it looks like, and it's like just millions of stuff happening there, because we can produce same product but change skin. Remember Venom? Yeah. And it's like Venom. It's a good example of taming and all of this stuff. And this has happened with the products. They just change the theme. I don't know, red iPhone, green iPhone, all of this stuff, and people go and buy it because it changed the color, basically. Almost don't change anything and stuff. And it's absolutely legit thing for marketing, again, because the way how thing looks like convey the whole message for who it made. Because you can create two vases with the different patterns. One pattern with the flowers and one pattern with the stripes, for example. Pattern with the stripes go to this type of interior, and with the flowers, more traditional interior, for example. And without anything, to the Japanese interior, for example. But it can be the same shape, the same properties.
Yeah.
Basically the same product.
But different utility.
A different utility. Yeah. And basically, here is it. It's like 3 parts of design. And on every single part, you can change anything. And you can disrupt anything. The problem with a lot of products, what I see, it is a path. You should go through the path, how it works, how it looks. Like 1, 2, 3 should be this part. It's predictable, understandable. It's very easy to control in terms of like how product made and stuff. And it's very hard to predict, to do anything if you go opposite way. When you think about, I'm gonna build most beautiful software, it's like just.
Well, you're coming from the wrong place.
I made this like liquid metal buttons floating around and all this stuff. How I gonna make it work? And
but it looks great.
It looks great. It's like, it's basically 99% of the dribble shots, isn't it? It's like you see that it's absolutely beautiful, and I love these visual explorations and stuff. But when you try to think about how it's gonna work in real life,
where's it gonna live?
It's like just what kind of technology you're gonna use? Do you actually engineer to create this stuff or something like that? It's very hard to like make it feasible, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're shoehorning it in. That's where you're feeding into a designer's ego, right?
Yeah. And it's like it's some sort of like trap, because a lot of people think about design, how it looks like. Oh, this car have beautiful design. They don't think about materials. They don't think about like safety, proportions, I don't know, aerodynamics, all of this stuff. Because all of this stuff, part of the design, especially aerodynamics dictates design, isn't it? Or platform you build, like Volkswagen have universal platform for almost all cars in the Volkswagen group. Skoda, Audi, you name it. They have some sort of like platform, like electric drive, train platform. And they can change it slightly, but you're some sort of like forced to build the car on top of this platform. And this platform dictates how this car should build like. You can't really change a lot. And you can probably notice some Audi cars look alike some Volkswagen cars. And the opposite, like from the side, it's like kind of Audi-ish, kind of Skoda-ish and stuff, because they use the same platform.
But what's core, as we're speaking about these different, and I'm going to call them like this methodology about what it is, how it works, what it looks like.
Yeah. You can't go opposite way, because you basically spend all your money and probably never release the software. And the huge problem today, like because we have millions startups, millions companies, they go from the back, like from the finish to start. And in the final, they realize they build the product nobody needs, because they don't know what they building. They don't have vision and tunnel vision about the final result of the product, who is product for, which kind of problem it solves, you name it. Because you don't design first step, foundation. In architecture is impossible, because you should design a foundation. You should know physics, you should know materials. You should have money spent on the materials, design, building, and all of this stuff. You can't build building without ergonomics and light, rules, all of this stuff. Like, it's impossible. I want to build building looks like a donut, which like staying on the 45 degrees and all of this stuff, because it's possible. But in digital world, it's easy. In the physical world, it's almost impossible. So the way how I try to design digital products, it is how I gonna design like physical products with all this.
Yeah, and this is exactly one of the things I was about to ask, right? As we're speaking about these core kind of fundamental design principles, if you like, and how they can be recycled into other disciplines, right? Because your definition of design isn't just one kind of straight.
It's not like you open a Figma and
exactly and so,
draw rectangles.
Right? Yeah, but we do love.
It can be.
We do love rectangles. So how? So using them kind of core kind of design principles. Let's say I'm a UX designer, right? we've had some good conversations before about sound design.
Yes.
How does my knowledge or my perception of design principles, how could they translate into sound design?
Yep.
How does that work?
Well, it's quite interesting because we have different feelings, like sense of things to preserve environment. It's what we see by eyes, what we call design, what we can touch, what we can smell, what we can hear, and what we can feel, just like temperature, vibrations, and all of this stuff. So in terms of design, it's very good when you not only like create visual stuff, but actually make it like you can feel it, you can hear it. For example, you can use haptics. When you click on the button or like slide something, you can use haptics and you actually can feel this virtual object on your fingertips, basically. It's very cool for accessibility, for all of this stuff. And also you can make things sounds. For example, when you receive messages, when you send messages, when you get notifications, all of this stuff.
Psychological communication.
Yeah, it's some sort of like, it's synesthesia in certain points when we have one brain and this brain is connected inside of us, and we some sort of like can, think about wood, and you immediately see the texture, you see the, like, you can feel the wood, you can smell the wood, you can see the different colors of wood, but you never think about like, oh, wood is green, or wood is like extremely red, like orange. Wood is like some sort of have the wood texture, where it's like sandy, brownish, something like that, depending on the oil, which color of wood, and all of this stuff. And you think about metal, it's cold, it's reflective, it can be brushed, can be like a mirror, for example, like chrome. It can be have different tint, but again, it's almost never have vivid color. And you think about organic stuff like some beetle, like imagine like huge beetle with the interesting colors on top of it and all of this stuff. It's you always try to connect sound, smell. If we talk about food, you immediately see the picture of the food, you smell you remember the smell of this dish if you tried before, like fish and chips. You immediately remember this smell and taste and all of this stuff, isn't it? And we are designers, for some reason, just ignore it completely. Again, just open the Figma. Figma doesn't have smell, doesn't have sound, doesn't have movement. And so we can create some sort of movement and all this stuff.
It's acknowledging and being aware of the senses.
Yeah.
Right?
Senses. Like you can design all the senses, and you can design it they all the same way how you design one sense, because we have association. If you hear the sound, you probably see the picture, or you can imagine the picture when you hear music. Like you hear the birds, you hear grass, you hear wind, and all of this stuff, and you immediately see the bright day, probably not the dull day with the rain and all of this stuff, because it doesn't sound like that. And it's kind of the same how people who write soundtrack for movies, they see the movie and they write music how they see the movie. How it's like they some sort of like translate the visual language to the sound. I can translate it for you right now. For this reason, I have my trusty small device.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like small, quirky teenage engineering stuff, which looks amazing. Yeah, it looks, again, everyone tells it's a really nice design, and it's very attractive to designers. And I like how they combine language of design and music in the same way. And designers love teenage engineering, and they buy music equipment, which is weird.
Tire does the same. Tire.
Yeah, and it basically solves this problem when professional music equipment, which sounds absolutely amazing, not often looks nice, I can say. It's even like opposite. If it looks ugly as hell, it sounds amazing. if it looks amazing, it's usually not intent to make music, because again, musicians don't think about design. It's the same way how designers doesn't think about music or sound and all of this stuff. Make sense?
Yes,
Sounds familiar, isn't it?
it does, just a bit.
Yeah. And thinking about animations, and again, animation doesn't exist in interface because it's a language. And language is flexible thing. I can fast, slower, and deeper like that. So it's like proximity effect. When I speak like that, it sounds lower and stuff. It's the same language, it's the same person speaking, but different.
And you make me feel different. Now you're creeping me out a little bit by talking like that, right? But yeah.
Oh, I can speak like that.
Oh, now I feel more comfortable.
Hey!
Yeah, great.
It's like creepy on both ways, isn't it?
Yeah, but in different.
Yeah. But what I want to say, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So we have this trusty small synthesizer here where you can just create tracks. If you saw content what Rive posts, they use music, and usually I build all the music on this type of device.
On that type of device.
Yeah. I have a lot of different quirky device, and like I don't know, like consoles. You can actually write music on the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo DS. Yes, they have like absolute beautiful, powerful software there from Korg. Korg company who produce synthesizers. They produce software for Nintendo, and you can create music there, and it sounds absolutely unique. You should try it. So
what are you going to show us now?
Basically, imagine I draw icon.
Draw an icon, yeah.
Yeah, imagine app icon with a rounded shape, rounded corners, all of this stuff, like standard iOS icon or something. And you usually should start with something. And start with something, it's usually a frame. You create the artboard to define the size. And usually it's about 1, 0 to 4. By 1, 0 to 4. It's like just standard size of the icon. You create artboard, or you select the preset of the artboard and all this stuff. It's your size. And sometimes you have these like beautiful shapes around to just understand in which part you can draw everything. And in music, it's the same. It's some sort of like BPM rhythm, what we have here. For example, I want to make music this fast. Like, I can slow it down. And it's absolutely different mood, isn't it? Yeah, it's basically, in music, it's some sort of frame. It dictates how fast or how slow.
Right, I see.
You're gonna make it. And you can start, different designers start differently, but usually you create this artboard. Not always you need this artboard. You can just draw straight away. But imagine you create it. And for this one, for example, I can use drums. Drums is my frame, like drums. And I use two sounds, basically. 2 sounds. And let's make the very, very basic. I just program everything on this one. Okay, and I'm gonna add some toms. See, it's like uneven.
Yeah.
And I want to make it even. Something like that. It's totally fine. This is my frame. Like, I can start composing something on top of it. And usually, you decided to make the background, for example, for this, or something like that. Just gradient.
Yeah.
It can be like plain stuff and etc. And imagine gradient, it can be like your pad.
Kind of like a gradient, yeah. face.
Like you can imagine it's a moving color
Yeah.
or something like that. I just want to record one note probably, and I record it. Something Tom York, isn't it? We make it. Then I decided to make texture for this icon.
Had a bit of noise.
A bit noise or some pattern. Sometimes it can be dots, or stripes. Anything. And for this purpose, I use bass, which sounds like that. And I'm gonna record something like that.
Sounds like something in a video game.
Yeah, it's like very, very basic. I actually gonna change my shape because I don't like the drums here. I gonna place. I think this is nice. Yeah, like this. You already see the composition. You already can sell it like an icon.
Because yeah, like you said, the artboard, the layers, the layering, the textures, all of them are contributing towards the overall frame.
Yeah.
But and
exactly. You have this rhythm and all this stuff, and you some sort of what suits this icon. Like this can be blue.
Yeah.
But blue with this texture doesn't work because you use wood texture,
right.
Or you use very strict stripes. And your pink background doesn't work, and you should combine them. And it's kind of the same process here. And for example, I want to actually add some ideogram on the icon. What is it? Can be I don't know, human there, or I don't know, message, or phone, or calendar, or something like that. This is our melody. This is basically how we make the conversation, what is about. And melody itself, it's always conversation. We ask question and we answer. Listen carefully to any single track in the world. It's always asking and answering. For example, this is ask. This is answer. Ask. Oh, no, answer. Yeah, and you some sort of try to build this melody. Or in this case, I decided to make maybe some abstract and stuff. And when I run the music, it's this shape, these restrictions, this texture, this color dictates how I should write the music, how I should draw my icon. And right now, I don't know what I'm gonna play, but let's see.
Yeah.
Something like that. Doesn't make sense?
It makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
it's impressive.
Yeah, we basically draw icon with the music. It's a pretty dark icon for cyberpunk, maybe, as something like that.
Yeah, no, but that's great. That as an illustration, as an example, that's great. And especially how you can kind of recycle or reimagine them kind of principles. Obviously, there are some foundational stuff there you need to learn. But
technical, how to run Figma, isn't it? How to install Figma.
Right. But once you kind of apply that kind of same kind of perspective and knowledge.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. Now, something that I see that you post a lot on is stuff like this, and you put in your hand different things. I know you're a big fan of photography as well, for example. So you online share a lot of these different multiple discipline interests, talents, right? Your version of design, right?
You can put my social networks here.
Yeah, exactly. So on that, do you think it's something designers actively should push to do? Do you think that they should be actively trying to try different disciplines?
No, I don't think everyone should do something. And what I can say, just not afraid to try it. Even if, for me, for example, photography itself, music itself, and like from the start, absolutely not interesting stuff. I just start trying. For example, for product design, I should have sound design and like music, but we can't find anyone who can create it, and I make it, and I found it quite interesting. And from this point, I start doing
out of
music.
necessity, because
Yeah, because I try to find someone who can create it, but back in the days, it's like just sound design.
So that relies on your attitude and confidence, though, right? And curiosity.
Curiosity, yeah, just feed your curiosity to try. You're never old for that. Oh, it's like, I'm too old to try this stuff. I'm old to try photography and stuff. Photography teach you how to combine colors, right? How to like make the perfect composition in you some sort of like have this feeling how to compose things. Like how you just build simple or not simple dashboard. Sounds extremely boring, isn't it? But because you have this feeling of composition, you train it with photography, and you feel like it's lack of colors somewhere. It's lack of, I don't know, like the weight, and which because in photography is the main thing, not just like taking pictures. You can take picture of the meta reading, for example, with your phone. It can be photography sometimes, but again, in photography, the main thing, you should think about the observer who gonna consume this photography. And it should be very obvious what I looking for, what I looking at and stuff. You know, this photography, street photography with a pocket of light when person step inside of it, this type of thing. When we use leading lines which like lead to this certain point and we walk through and stuff. Like photography tells something. There is like photography creates a story, and photographer tells you a story, basically. It can be absolute mess, but it's intentional, and you understand like Pollock is a mess, but organized, isn't it? You looking at the pictures and artwork, and it looks like a mess, but organized in the way because it has this feeling. And same with the photography. Photography can be anything, but you develop your own vision for photography. You do photography like if you develop in it, for example, in 2-3 years of doing like everyday photography and all of this stuff, you continue doing it everywhere and stuff. And then you can use your skills to present your product, even if you're digital designer. Imagine you can create the interface and present it on real device, not on like AI generated stuff, which is like completely fine, but it's actually real device, what you photograph with maybe like your fingers everywhere and dust and stuff, but it looks real, it feels real, and it's like intentionally made by you, even if like someone can call it rubbish and stuff. It doesn't matter. Just develop your sense of, oh, I'm curious about it. Try it. I'm curious to try this camera. Try it. You can always borrow it, and like just it's a lot of services. You didn't have to buy it. Like you didn't have to buy Hasselblad. Do you know that? You didn't have to buy expensive Fujifilm camera. You just can borrow it for free and stuff, or like buy like secondhand old one and stuff. They not really changed so much, and like you don't have to buy like the most modern expensive Mac available on the market. Buy a secondhand like 2 years ago. It's totally fine. And it's like just, oh, I have no money for a good computer. It's just, come on.
Well, I think we're at time, but Dimitri, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, we'll have you again and maybe even with another guest.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure. And yeah, guys, share, because sharing is caring. And yeah, always remember you can change a lot in design and stuff.